that's the wrong ladle. And I said, what do you mean? Like, I was using this last year and you haven't said anything. You've been watching me make pizza for the last year. He's like, yeah, but you're a man now. So,
I mean, if you think about it, holding a ladle from over here to just down there is like one little thing that you could tweak. Like, it's so cool that there are a million of those little.
There are, and they're all game changers. You know what I mean? I knew, So it's like,
that's crazy.
We got some people on the low that are not really shown, but eventually they're going to have to let the world know that they love good pie. It's all good. But if they don't want to let everybody know, I'm okay telling everybody that all that's real. It's all good.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am very excited today because when you think of Las Vegas pizza, there are a number of people that come to mind. And I have Vincent Rotolo on the show of Good Pie LV. And when you're looking from afar, it's very easy to say, wow, this guy's got it good. He's making some amazing pizza, killing it. He's one of the go-to destinations whenever you go to Pizza Festival. But in this conversation today, I would love to very much talk to Vincent about his journey. We're going to talk about the specific styles of pizza that he makes. And we're going to talk about a cool new project. Not so much new, but an upcoming project that he's working on. Vincent, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm a huge fan of the show and watch almost every episode. And so, just thrilled to be here.
I am so happy to hear that. And this is going to be a breeze then, because you know what's coming. There's no right or wrong answer. What's good, though?
I'm always down for a surprise or two. So I'm always down to go where no man has gone before on these interviews.
Well, shoot, it's a tradition.
I got no apologies, no holds barred.
I like how you speak, man, and I'm excited to hear the stories that you're going to share with me. But I do want to leave the space for you to answer that question if you like, or we could leave it at that, whatever you want to do.
What, my start?
No, what's good though? Oh,
what's good though is, like so many things going on. Good Pie's expanding. That's the first big news of the day. I don't have an official announcement yet, but I can tell you there will be a second location solidified before the end of 23 for sure. We have a couple real serious negotiations currently going on. So there will be a Good Pie Part 2. And I will say that the next location will have a wood oven and a section of the menu called wood pie. So that's the first time I'm breaking that news here. So what's good, though, is Good Pie and wood pie is definitely coming soon.
Oh, my goodness. I am in love with that name.
Thank you.
I've seen you do some wood-fired pizza, or maybe not seen you do it per se, but I've seen it on your personal Instagram page. You don't normally do it, do you?
I have a Maraforni oven. I kind of got started in the business making more wood oven pizzas, not necessarily Neapolitan, but more like American artisan or like a neo-Neapolitan, blending American and Italian and American dough, playing with that. And so I've always been enamored with wood. My family history, we traced it back to Bagheria, Sicily, and the Rotolo. We were blacksmiths, and the name Rotolo came from the iron rings that went around wine barrels. So the early ancestry of my heritage goes back to cooking with fire, and really like blacksmithing. And so I've always been enamored with fire. I've always been like that kid on the camping trip who couldn't roast enough marshmallows. And I'm excited. I've been cooking with fire my whole life. And so my love of pizza really began with a coal oven pizzeria at the original Brick Oven John's on Bleecker Street. When I was a kid, that was my first job in pizza. And so I've always been fantasizing about the romance of that orange glow from these ovens. And so I've never really been able to do that professionally, but it's in future plans.
Did you consider making a coal oven and kind of replicating that, just childhood of yours?
I did. Or in fact, back in the summer of 2016, actually summer of 2017, we went to Fontana, California, with a bunch of other pizza makers led by John Arena, Tony Gemignani, and Giulio Adriani, and a whole crew. And we broke the world record for the longest pizza. And then when I got home from that trip, I began making my own wood oven pizza out of materials that I sourced from the streets of downtown Las Vegas. So I was finding different things on the street and I made an oven. And years later, 6 years later, it's still going strong. So I'm really proud of that.
That's awesome. Let's talk about Good Pie, because that is your bread and butter. And it's been through so much through the years. Maybe you can tell us how that got started, because it wasn't your first foray into pizza, but it's like, it's representative of you.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate that. Good Pie's been, just a blessing from the start. My professional pizza career really took off when I got the opportunity to lead the team at Evil Pie. And so we started competing under Evil Pie. I competed at Pizza Expo for gluten-free, won the silver medal, and really got introduced to, I think, elite pizza making and elite pizza makers, at that time. And then I realized quickly that I wasn't going to get what I really wanted, which was ownership, which was decision-making power, which was the power to control the financial part of a business. I was basically an employee, right? So I realized quickly that I needed to control my own destiny. And so I left Evil Pie, and I got the opportunity to film the pizza episode of Chopped. And I went to New York and we filmed the pizza poetry episode of Chopped, along with John Arena, Nino Coniglio, and Giulio Adriani. And that was really when Good Pie actually started, because I was able, through the show, to get the funding I needed to sign my own lease. And then I signed a lease at a real small spot in downtown Las Vegas at Pawn Plaza. I had 560 square feet. And, what was great about that was I could own most of it and control all of it. So I was small enough that I could fund it pretty much on myself with one investor. And I was able to retain 85% of the equity and still really not put a lot of my own money. And I was able to raise a little bit of money and just get open. When Good Pie started, we wanted to do multiple styles out of one tiny location with one dough formula. So whereas other pizzerias that were doing multiple styles were doing different doughs and had a bunch of different ovens and had thousands of square feet to work with, we were one of the first, or, as far as I knew, we're the only people at that time when we opened in February 2018 that were doing like 4 to 5 styles out of one dough formula in a tiny, tiny space. And that was, it was well received. We got a lot of press and recognition in the very beginning. And within 11 months at that location, we were able to secure a much bigger build out on Main Street in the heart of the Arts District nearby. And then the Good Pie of today was born. And we opened that December 1st of 2020, right in kind of in the height of the pandemic.
Does the Good Pie of today still use one dough formula? Because I absolutely dream of doing something like that, where it's just so simple. You do?
Yeah, we do. We have the means to do different doughs, but we do one dough recipe. It's evolved since then. But what we do is we utilize, time and temperature and the tools and the skills that we have to turn like each batch into a separate style. So the New York styles are going to go through their table rest, right? They're proofing on the table. They're going to get cut up and balled up, and then they're going to go into the tins, the round tins. And then the square pies, the grandmas, the Sicilians, the Detroits, they're going to get balled up and they're going to go into the square dough boxes. Because what I found was, when you put the dough in the square dough box and they rise up, they're kind of turning into a square shape anyway. And then you gotta work like a lot of the Neapolitan styles. They're starting with the square, working it into a circle, right? So for me, when Nino introduced me to these tins, I loved it because number one, it was round, but number two, because it was metal, it was able to be much colder than the plastic. And so you could slow down that ferment even more because of the metal, the way it conducted like heat and cold. And I loved what that did for the dough. And so that in itself, plastic versus metal, round versus square, is still the foundation of how one dough formula becomes different styles. And then from there, they either get panned up or some get a bulk ferment, some overnight. And, the Sicilians go for, 3.5 days. The grandmas go for, for 48 hours, as well as the Brooklyn style, the round style. So it's fun. We're still having fun learning every day, but we're not making any major changes now because we're at the point now where we're scaling and rolling out this concept. And so when you're doing that, it's not time for major change. There's always small tweaks, but I think it's really more about growing that formula and actually trying to increase volume, but at the same time being committed to increasing quality. And that's the trap we fall into, right? Because my first busy day was 80 pizzas. Right now, a busy day is 700 pizzas. And so that's our record at Good Pie now, 703 pies. That was March of 22. And that's a tough day. That's a day where they're not all going to be good. And that's the struggle of volume versus quality. And I'm constantly living in that world of increasing quality and increasing volume. And I want to sell more and more pizza, but I also want it to be better and better.
Are you looking to level up your pizza game? If so, I highly suggest that you check out Ooni, the unrivaled leader when it comes to pizza ovens. Ooni pizza ovens are a total game changer. With the ability to reach up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll have the power to be able to make the pizza of your dreams. What I love about Ooni is their portability and versatility. You can bring them anywhere, or you can keep them on your patio or in your backyard. And you can make a ton of different styles of pizza with it. They're so fun to use. And guess what? You can use them to start your pizza business too. So whether you're a passionate home pizza baker or a budding entrepreneur, you gotta get with Ooni. Use the affiliate link in the show notes. That way, you can let my sponsors know that you heard about them through What's Good Dough. Thank you for supporting me and my sponsors. You gave that example or a similar example on a podcast that you did over at the M Resort or M Life, MGM Resort, something like that. And you had talked about how if you're going to make 500 slices, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 bad pizzas. But then the paradigm shift that you had was when John Arena had told you, think about how you make 50 pizzas in an hour and your mind will change.
Right.
Can you talk about what that did to you?
It just changed your whole thought process. John is the best in the world at asking thought-provoking questions of people. He's never going to tell you exactly, what to do, but he's going to kind of lead those crumbs to that gingerbread house and let you find your way, which is the best way to teach, And so I've been blessed to share a great friendship with him over the years. And he's been one of the most influential mentors, not just for me, but for an entire generation of pizza makers. So we really thought differently about, what was possible. I think when I was at Palm Plaza, John came over and he said, hey, I was using a ladle that was flat, not round, or like a half sphere ladle. I was using a flat one. And he said, yeah, that's the wrong ladle. And I said, what do you mean? Like, I was using this last year and you haven't said anything. You've been watching me make pizza for the last year. He's like, yeah, but you're a man now. So that's not the right ladle. So I immediately got rid of every ladle and started over with the round ones. And then I was holding it way up high. I remember I was ladling my sauce. My ladle work was horrible because I'm holding it like that little hook. So I'm holding it by the hook thinking, oh, that's how you hold it. And then one day I put a video out and like Decker jumped in and he like commented, or he sent me a private message, he sent me a DM. And he was like, yo, bro, not trying to really be that guy, but if you choke up on that, if you go down further, it'll be much easier. And so I did. And I'm like, wow, now I hold it like almost like a pencil. Like I'm almost like 3-4 inches from it. And there's so much more control, so much better. And just having those guys in the same city, Decker, Arena, well, Decker's in California now, but having those guys while I was kind of coming up and starting, just go out of their way to be nice to me for no reason, just because they're nice, was really beneficial, was really awesome.
It set up, you know, the type of pizza maker that could build the good pie back then, right? And you have since evolved into making it the good pie of today. It's amazing to hear all of these little tips and how, I mean, if you think about it, holding a ladle from over here to just down there is like one little thing that you could tweak. Like, it's so cool that there are a million of those little.
There are, and they're all game changers.
Huge.
They really are. And I've been blessed to like have people give me feedback. I'm open to it, right? I'm not that kind of guy that's going to ever ignore feedback from someone who I consider to be, you know, a master or a highly skilled, you know, elite. Like Decker is elite. Like Arena is a godfather. You know, when an elite person is giving you knowledge, you accept it and you thank them and you apply it, and you know, and then you can, because I'm like, I can always go back to what I was doing before. Like I'm always trying new stuff. So, yeah, it's been a true blessing.
As someone who is, some may consider you elite now, and I imagine a lot of people are asking you for advice. What do you think is the most common thing you tell people? Maybe your favorite piece of advice where it's like, oh my goodness, this really helped me.
It's hard to answer that question because I just tell them to call Arena because I don't really, and that's true. Yo, that's being real. Like, you know, Daniel Holtzman from Danny Boys, he came to me. Me and him have been friends for 20 years. You know, I've known him from the New York days, the meatball shop days. And when he was getting into the pizza business, he was like, yo, Vince, I got a couple ideas. And I'm like, I can answer some questions on the gluten-free, but anything other than that, like, call this guy. And he did. and he worked with John and loves John, and they have their own relationship. But I just, instead of trying to be a teacher, which I'm not, I'm still a student of pizza. You know, I'm a fan of pizza. I'm a guy who's a pizza consumer and a pizza lover first and a pizza maker second. And I'm not trying to get it twisted. Like, you know, I don't believe the hype of whatever's going on out where people are going to try to position me. Like I'm grateful for any accolades that we've earned. But in the world of pizza making, like I'm not elite. Sorry. And I'm not being humble. People that know me know I'm not a humble guy, but I'll keep it real and I'll be like, I'm not an elite pizza maker. I'm a restaurateur. I've learned a lot of different skill sets along the way, back of house, front of house, management, director of operations. Like I wore a lot of hats in this business, and being a pizza maker is one of many hats that I've worn. And it's certainly not my strongest skill set, but I'm still learning. So I'm grateful to those guys that are out. I'll call John today and I'll be like, yo, dude, can you share some info on this or whatever I'm dealing with? And, you know, and other people, you know, I got Paulie G I talk to a lot. Michael Ayub Fornino is one of my really good friends. He gave me my first GM job back in 2007 in New York. And I just saw him, you know, 2 weeks ago when we spent some time together. And he's one of the unsung heroes of the New York pizza scene is Michael Ayub. He's just a wealth of knowledge and tremendously successful businessman. When it comes to the pizza business, not many people in New York have as much longevity as him, as far as, you know, he opened in 2004 and they're still striving today.
What's the biggest lesson you've gained from him about business?
You know, how he treats you. He was the first guy I ever worked for that was actually nice to me, respected me, or made me feel appreciated and respected. And he's a kind-hearted person. And, you know, when I was starting out, I didn't have any money. He bought me some equipment and really never really wanted to be paid back. He just wanted to help me. And he's just very kind and generous with his knowledge. And he treats people like gold, like family, maybe better than family. He treated me so well. And I apply that to my culture on a daily basis. I'm trying to treat people as well as he treated me.
A lot of pizza makers are using the wrong type of olive oil for their dough. Let me explain. Using commodity olive oil can have a detriment to your pizza, and I'm talking about a huge one. Whether it's rancidity or a nasty smell, you don't want that on your masterpiece. Say goodbye to commodity oil and say hello to Cordo olive oil. Cordo olive oil is the ultimate choice for pizza makers like us. Why? Because they use quality olives, they harvest it at their peak, and they store it securely so that when you purchase the olive oil, it is fresh. They pick their olives at their peak, they harvest it, and they secure it in a safe way. That way, it's ready for you when you make your purchase. The choice is yours. Do you want an explosion of flavor, or do you want that nasty, bitter taste on top of your pizza or in your dough? Anytime you need some Corto olive oil, use the link in the show notes or DM me and I'll send you that link personally. I appreciate you for supporting me and my show sponsors. Can you go into a little bit more of the day-to-day of how you're doing that?
Yeah. I offer health insurance for my team. I give them paid time off. We pay a higher wage. I learned a valuable lesson from one of my business partners now, and he just says, pay the most and demand the best. Right? When people were going through labor shortages or people were having trouble finding staff, I had a meeting with my partner, Todd, who's an incredible businessman and very successful. And I was like, I'm having some issues finding people. And he said, well, how many people you got to hire? I was like, well, I need to hire about 20. And he said, well, Circa just opened and they hired 9,000 people. So you're not working hard enough and go get to work. And it was just that mentality, that thought process of winning, the winning thought process of I'm willing to do things other people are not willing to do. I'm willing to work harder, have more discipline, have more passion, wake up earlier, go to bed later, do all the things, the Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality, all of that like applies to everything. And that's who I want to be. And that's who I'm trying to be, that and now balance a family with a business. But I have 30 employees and I love them all. And they feel loved. I just had my annual 4th of July party where on 4th of July, we close the restaurant every year and we have a barbecue with the staff. And years past, I cooked for everybody personally at my house. And this year we were able to rent out a barbecue restaurant called Soul Belly on Main Street. And Chef Bruce Kalman, who's, renowned and, was on all over Food Network. And, he cooked for us, so that's just leveling up. You know what I mean? The party's getting bigger and better. Now we got celebrity chefs cooking our party. So it's really incredible. And the team feels that, right? They know we're sparing no expense on their, on what they need. Another example is, my air conditioning went down, over last weekend. My kitchen was 86 degrees and I got on the phone with my AC company and I didn't get off the phone until I knew someone was going to be there. And I didn't care what it cost, but I'm not going to have my kitchen be 86 degrees when it's 115 degrees outside. I won't let my team work through that. And I made it happen where by the next morning it was, back to 74 degrees in there. And so, like a lot of owners, they slack on that because they're not the ones in the kitchen, right? They're not the ones sweating their asses off. And so I'm never going to allow my team to work in an environment that I wouldn't want to work in myself ever, and I get my hands dirty. I'm going in there. I'll clean the bathroom. I'll plunge the toilets. I'll mop the floor. I'll do what I need to do to show people that I give a fuck. I care. And the more I care and the more I'm willing to show that and the more I'm able to now have success by working through others, really working through others. I have my management meetings a couple times a week and we're really building a strong culture because I can't be in front of the oven all the time and I can't be in the restaurant all the time. I'm in the office. I'm watching profits. I'm reading graphs. I'm reading, I'm looking at financial reports. I'm dealing with accountants and lawyers. I'm dealing with the landlords and, I'm dealing with the business at a bird's eye view, looking down on it and I'm not in it. Yeah, just scaling the business and rolling it out. You can't do that when you're in it.
No.
Right? You've got to be able to step out of the business and operate it, from, like I have an office less than a half a mile away from Good Pie. And I spend more time now in the office than I do, in the restaurant because, I learned from Mike Bausch, like sales happen in the restaurant, but profits happen in the office, and I'm watching profitability. I'm checking financials and I'm really managing the business and I'm making decisions that are based on real data and I'm making decisions not based on instinct, but I'm making those decisions based on what I'm seeing on the reports, on the financial report.
What do you say to the operator who says, but it takes money to make money? Like it's cool. You can pay top dollar for talent and it's cool. You can get the AC fixed no matter the cost, or it's cool. You can work in an office, but like me today, I am not at that point. What can I do?
Work your ass off till you get there. I wasn't always there either. Like the early days of Good Pie, yo, man, there's a mantra out there. I think I saw it on Instagram. It's like, it's 100 weeks of 100-hour weeks. That's what the fuck I did. I did that. I already paid my dues and sacrificed on that point. But now we're at the area of sales and growth that me busting it out 100 hours in front of an oven is not going to grow the business, right? It's not going to get me that next lease. It's not going to have me, establish, the Wood Pie brand. It's not going to have me, open up my next business venture. I have 2 other restaurants that I'm getting involved in, or 2 other food businesses that are not pizza related. I'm trying to diversify and spread that out. Like, I can't do that if I'm working the same way I worked when I was at Palm Plaza, right? I have 30 employees. I have 6 managers on salary. I spend over $300,000 a year on management salary. I'm not going to be there like micromanaging them. I think Steve Jobs said, you can't run a business based on hierarchy. You got to run a business based on the best ideas. And I don't give a shit where they come from. The best ideas win. That's how you grow a company. That's how you build a culture. Because great people won't stay unless you hear them out. Like, I say yes to my team every day. My management, this idea, that idea, this plan, that plan. I'm finding ways to say yes to that, because that's how, and I'm not just saying yes for the sake of saying yes. I'm saying yes to great ideas and changes. It's wonderful. I'm blessed that I have such a great team of people working with me that, I don't want to insult their intelligence by telling them what to do. I just kind of get out of their way and let them do their job. And when they need support, I'm there. But I'm not going to micromanage my people.
What if what they're asking for is unreasonable? How do you have that discussion or conversation with them?
Simple. Hey, man, I don't think this is reasonable. Has you really thought this through? Let's go back and look at these options. Walk me through your thought process, and then shut up and let them walk you through it. Like, how did they get to that idea? Right? Maybe there's a portion of that thing that makes sense. Maybe there's the foundation of it, or the perspective of it could be right. But I never just give people a hard no. I never just shut them down. I'm always like, and my team knows when someone hits me with something and I go, perhaps, let's think about that. That's my hard no. Like, they know that shit already. Like, I'm not going to shut them down. I'm like, let's think about that. Walk me through what the thought process of how'd you get there? What are we trying to accomplish with that? So I'll just ask questions and let them lead me through. And in asking those questions and in true collaboration with them and letting them lead the way and following them, that's where the magic happens of success and ultimately productivity. Otherwise, if I'm the only guy with all the answers and I got to do all the work, and then I'm going to be the same I was last year, I can't grow every year.
Damn. It seems like you have it all down, at least up to this point, and you're getting into these new ventures and you're going to open yourself up to a whole bunch of new things, which is very exciting. But there was once a Vincent Rotolo who was uncertain about even opening up the restaurant. And you kind of touched on it earlier, and you were like, I need more ownership. I need more control. But even then, I'm sure you were still feeling a little scared.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It's a great point you bring up. And the truth is like, my whole career, I fought to be the ultimate decision maker. And now that I am, I control everything in my business. All I want to do is ask other people their opinion, right? When I think when you're at that lead position, when you're the number one, right? You got to get buy-in from your group if you're going to make it for every decision you make. And so for me, that buy-in happens with like recently I eliminated a front of house position because the business evolved beyond it. And I knew months ago that we didn't need this position anymore. So I went to my AGM and I said, hey, what do you think? I'm thinking of eliminating this position. And the people we have in this role, one could be here and one could be there. And then one, I don't know. What do you think? That's what I'm thinking. And right away, I could tell like that was because she lit up and she was like, yes, that would be great if we did that. You know what I mean? So then I know like, but it's different if I can be like, okay, here's what we're doing. We're doing this. Go make it happen. Well, there's no buy-in there, right? There's no buy-in because people don't argue with their own ideas. So I'm asking for buy-in with my thoughts about operational decisions. And then, I know it's not a great question if they hit me back with the same one. I'll be like, well, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, what do you think? That means we're not working well. I want your opinion. I know what I think. I know what's in my brain. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know where your head is and to see if I'm on the same page as you, because you're currently spending more time in the business than I am. I'm in it, but I'm in it from a different perspective, right? I'm an owner now. I'm not a pizza maker that's covered in flour every day. Love those people. And I was once that guy, but I can't grow my business if I'm covered in flour every day. I just can't do it. And what I'm after is more good pies, more brands, other things under our umbrella, and another food business, a different restaurant. And I want to have 5 or 6 restaurants and 5 or 6 different food businesses and multiple good pies. I want to scale the business, and I can't get there unless I have the right culture and the right people. Right now, I have 3 kitchen managers in one restaurant. So when I'm ready to jump, I know someone's moving to the next spot and the food will be right.
Hey, Pizza Pal, did you know a staggering 18% of Americans make a move each year? So even if your business is firing on all 4 cylinders, you could be waving goodbye to 1 in every 5 customers. Oh no, with Our Town America's new mover welcome program, you can seamlessly replace those customers who've relocated. Imagine this, there's a family settling around the corner, seeking out their next favorite restaurant. They're in the midst of creating new routines and, yes, on the hunt for their next bomb slice of pizza. Here's your chance to shine amidst the sea of quote-unquote restaurants near me. Now picture this, a tailored, warm, welcome gift arriving at their doorstep precisely when they need it most. And here's the secret sauce. By joining forces with Our Town America, you'll learn how to transform these fresh faces into devoted, long-term customers. So, are you ready to dive in? Connect with Susan at 480-678-1366 or send her an email at susan@ourtown.net. That's susan@ourtown.net or 480-678-1366. You started off as an owner-operator with Good Pie, and now you're going to be opening up these new restaurants. And when I say owner-operator, I mean like you own the business and you're in the daily making stuff happen in order for service to happen. Do you think it's possible for people to just start owning and not operate in the pizza world and have that much?
Not at the beginning. No, because I was there almost every hour the first 2.5, 3 years. And then when I opened the new location, it repeated itself. And so you have to be there to Arena told me this years ago. He said, the only way to lead is from the front, right? You can't lead from behind. I can't lead my team, but because I have my front of house managers with me, almost 2 years, my kitchen managers with me 3.5 years, like they know what I expect. They know what the standard is. And we've built up trust and a rapport, and I'm in touch with them every day. I mean, I hate those owners that are managing their business looking at the cameras, right? I do a walkthrough of my restaurant almost every morning that I can. That tells me the story. I walk through that thing at 7:30 or 8 in the morning when no one's there or it's just getting open and I maybe see one employee and I just check in. The numbers tell the story, right? But also the way the room looks and feels tells the story. I got a daily email that goes out, right? It tells me the revenue for the day. It tells me any guest issues for the day, any staffing issues, who was late, who switched to shift. It tells me what maintenance issues are on, what light bulbs are out that need to be changed, what was broken, what was fixed. There's a lot of moving parts. You know what I mean? Like if I walk in the restaurant and there's a light bulb out, I'm going to be fucking pissed. I'm not going to yell at anybody, but I'm going to be like, how come that light bulb is out and no one, like that wasn't in my email last night? Like, because I would have been there in that morning and make sure it got changed, even if I got to jump over the ladder and change it myself. So I am not an absentee owner. I'm just managing the business through other people.
Damn.
There's a difference between being an absentee owner and managing through others, right? And
yes,
the people who can manage through others are like the Nick Bogats of the world. He's great at it. I listen to everything that guy says. The Mike Bauschers of the world. Those guys have multiple locations. I mean, Tony Gimignani has 22 restaurants and counting in I don't know how many concessions and how many stadiums, and they're all great, right? Well, he's a great leader first. He works through others. If we want to have greatness in this business, if we want to be elite, yeah, you have to be an elite pizza maker, but you have to be an elite leader. And you got to be a quarterback and an owner. You got to be Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott. You got to wear both hats.
On the
I'm
on
not
the
a
whole
Cowboy
note of
fan, by the way. I don't know why I said that.
it's okay. It's okay. Like, are you a Raider
I'm a
fan?
Giants fan. I'm a Giant fan. But I said
Giants,
it
of
because
course.
Jerry Jones is a hands-on owner. That's why.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to be successful in the pizza world by not becoming an elite pizza maker?
Oh, well, it depends on define success. What is
Yes.
your definition of success? Some people just want to have the best pie in the neighborhood and go there and make pizza every day and they're happy, right? But for me, that's not going to make me happy and fulfilled. I want to grow this business. Like I have a real plan, a real exit. And so, I want to follow my plan, and my plan might be different than someone else's plan. And my version of success or my definition of success might be different than someone else's, But the thing for me is like, I want to lead my community or be a community leader. I want to have an impact on others in my industry. That's why we founded in 2019 the Las Vegas Pizza Festival. That's why we created the Vegas Pizza Alliance along with myself and Arena. That's why, every year now Life is Beautiful is coming to me and asking me to curate the pizzeria activation at one of the biggest, music and art festivals, on the West Coast. So those are the things that I'm doing outside the restaurant. Like I'm the founder and co-creator of the Vegas Pizza Festival. I'm not an owner. I don't own any equity in the business, but it's one of the best pizza festivals in the country. And I'm excited, August 19th, I'm going out to San Francisco, to North Beach, for the first time. I'm going to eat at Tony's Pizza Napolitana. I'm going to go see Laura, at her place at Pizzeria DeLaura. I'm going to go see Leia Skirto. I'm going to go see Lars Smith, and I'm going to eat their food in San Francisco and just be a fan. But I'm also doing R&D for pizza festivals. I'll go to Chicago, and Steve Dolinsky, he's doing the City Pizza Fest, and we have the Vegas Pizza Festival going on. It's the third one, and it's bigger and better. We got Greco as a sponsor. Bianco de Napoli's coming in. General Mills Flour. The list goes on and on. Casamigos Tequila, Campari, Fernet. Like, we're growing into a major festival now. And that all started because some guys from outside of Las Vegas a couple years before came in and did some kind of fake like pizza festival where they literally went to pizzerias and bought pizza and left them on a box at a table. And they were like, there's your pizza from Metro or whatever. Like we were like, yo, if these guys can come in from outside of the market and outside the state and do a pizza festival in Vegas and sell a bunch of tickets and then basically rip everybody off, we have to protect our city. We have to protect our pizza consumers. They're all of our customers. So the alliance got started and we created the first pizza festival. And now it's growing bigger and better. I'm super excited about that. It's coming up November 4th. Tickets are already on sale at vegaspizzafest.com. And we've already sold like over 700 tickets. It's going to, and we cap it out at 2,000. So, and this is quick. Like we sold like 500 or 600 the first week. So this is the most tickets we've sold this early in the year from when we released them. So that just shows you like we might have outgrown the venue, and we're going to have to move it to a 5,000 person venue next year, which is super duper exciting. And I can't thank these guys enough. Tony Gemignani, Pizza Rock's a part of it. Obviously Arena with Metro, Gio Moro at he has two places, Pizzeria Monzu, an old school pizzeria. We got Naked City Pizza, Yukon Pizza was recently featured, Rising Stars in Pizza Today. We knew those guys were stars 5 years ago, so the Vegas pizza scene is strong. We got Rebellion Pizza. Those guys are crushing it. They're putting out beautiful pizza. So there's these pizzerias that have been in business, like in the brick and mortar, less than 2 years, and they're putting out amazing product. So we're very, very blessed. And there's some, really great. I mean, look at Michael Vacny, what he's done. He just opened a pizzeria, 00 Pie and Pub. He told me 5 years ago, he's like, yo, dude, I'm about to start winning some championships. I'm about to start making some. He's like, I'm about to start hitting these competitions hard and bringing my A game. And that guy is like, you want to talk about what's good dough? Like his dough is what's good. It's really good. And so, I'm one of many guys that are the nation is like paying attention to, but I'm certainly not on the level of a lot of those guys. I'm just part of a community of people that really can feed off of each other's energy, who support each other because of the camaraderie that was established by John and Tony, who are the leaders of our community. We go out of our way to support each other. And we have a real strong camaraderie. We're a group of individuals that have the same interests, the same challenges. We're buying from the same vendors a lot of times. We're experiencing the same staffing issues. A lot of times, we're even sharing employees. Like someone's going to leave my place or go, to another pizzeria or back and forth. And we just wanted to have an official bond. The unofficial Pizza Alliance was existing for years. And, mostly led by John Arena's just mentorship of the community. But, I think we made it official as an organization, as a group. We got a New York Times article written about us, which was wonderful. Back in 19, and we were able to do some pizza activations and just get together and cook together and get out of our restaurants and get into some community minded, fundraising for different causes and make pizza. And it's really just a way for us to support each other with the goal of elevating the entire city of Las Vegas pizza, so we could really have a platform to show other cities around the world that this was a viable way of building community.
Wow.
Through our events, through our efforts and activations, and so the pandemic kind of like made it like harder for people to gather, but the festival's a way that we can all get together at least once a year and celebrate our pizza culture here, the new, the existing, the longevity of a place like Carmine's and Metro, and the innovation and creativity of a new place like Yukon and Rebellion and others. And there's a pizzeria and a tiki bar called Red Dwarf, and they're doing Detroit style pizza. And this is a guy, his name's Russell Gardner. I've known him for years. He's a master cicerone and an incredible beverage guy, and just wanted to add pizza to his menu. And he's putting out some of the best pizza in the city in like a kind of a tiki dive bar that very few people even know about. Whether it's Izzy's Pizza, pizza bus is cooking out of a bus. A lot of these guys are putting out just better and better product simply because we're sharing information. Anyone asks me a question about my dough, I'll tell them. Anyone asks me what sauce, what flour, what cheese, I'll tell them. There's no secrets. Like, we're true collaborating in a way that I think even 5 or 10 years ago, no one would have been able to think that was possible, that we would actually share secrets. But we do. And it works.
There's this part in the book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. And he talks specifically about how some of the people who just excelled or became great in their industry had a lot to do with the environment that they're in, right? And the timing. Yeah. Right? Because you could have been in Vegas and John Arena wasn't around back then. I mean, your pizza may not have been as good. But then I don't think I could have gotten open. I wouldn't have had a restaurant. Right. And now that John Arena's, had all this experience and he's the type of person who gives information, it's like it created this environment where that was the norm. And you all sort of look to each other and be like, oh, help me, I'll help you. Oh, this person's doing this and it's making his pizza better or her pizza better. Yeah. Maybe I'll take some of that. And it's just like, it's like a rising tide lifting all the boats. 100%. It is such a cool thing to watch from afar. And now people get to experience all of this greatness in one location. Because I will say that whenever I go to Pizza Expo, the hardest part is to try to get to all of y'all. Unless I have a car. Yeah, right? I'm lucky that I'm closer than most others. You are. Yeah. And that's why we're always at Good Pie. But Red Dwarf Inn, maybe just it's down the street from the convention center. But then we went to this one place that was a bar. They also had Detroit. And it was just in the cuts. Like we had to drive over there. And so having all of these amazing pizzerias in one location, exciting. So exciting. And we're excited by it too. I think that things are getting better and better. You got people just elevating the game constantly, and it keeps me sharp. It keeps me wanting to do to keep innovating. Keep creating, keep pushing forward, keep striving to be better, better service. I revamped my beverage program and our cocktails. Like year to date, I looked this up today. I had a meeting with my AGM. We sold 3 times more cocktails in 23 year to date than we did in 22. Our cocktail program's on fire. We got the Mike's Hot Honey
Old Fashioned on draft. We got the Campari handle of a Negroni on draft. We got the Casamigos tequila, premium tequila on draft. Like, you know, Mark Wahlberg lives in town now. He's been a customer on the low. He doesn't promote it, but we're working on that. But Mark comes in, he promotes it because he F45 training, which he's part owner of. Their trainers come and eat at almost every day, and they have a cheat day, and they told him about it. You know, the bodybuilder guys told him. He came in, and then Clooney knows about it. So, you know, we got some celebrity clientele undercover that are showing us some secret love, but hopefully they start promoting that and getting that out. But I'm putting Clooney and Wahlberg on blast right now. I hope they see it. Joe Rogan also. I was going to ask you about that. Rogan. They mentioned us. Daniel Holzman mentioned us on the Joe Rogan podcast. Rogan came here, was in like he came here with a thing outside and ordered takeout and was eating in like some like crazy like G-Wagon that they rolled up. And I knew it was him. You know what I mean? I knew, So it's like, that's crazy. We got some people on the low that are not really shown, but eventually they're going to have to let the world know that they love good pie. It's all good. But if they don't want to let everybody know, I'm okay telling everybody that all that's real. It's all good. And if the Kardashians are out there, we'll take your money too. You guys can come and eat some pizza too.
All right, you heard it here first. If you want to see a bunch of celebrities, go to Good Pie, and then maybe they'll even be at the Vegas Pizza Festival. You never know. You never know. One
regular celebrity that comes in is Brad Garrett from the Brad Garrett Comedy Show. He comes through, and he's always bringing comedians with him. Dave Chappelle got Good Pie when he was in Vegas last. He came through with his entourage, and he got Floyd Mayweather comes in. He orders at the window, and he always drops $100 tip. He never gets a pie. Floyd Mayweather, he always gets slices. He loves his Sicilian. Mayweather comes through, and literally we don't take cash. But for Floyd, we're like, whatever. Like he doesn't even, I don't know if he has a credit card. He just has a knot. He rolls with a knot. Sorry, I'm not trying to blow Floyd's spot up, but he rolls with.
He's known to like his cash.
He's got $1 million on his neck, and he's like throwing hundreds at the Good Pie window, and we just give him whatever he wants.
That's tight. Okay.
Yeah, so we're blessed, man. We're truly blessed.
Yeah, it's a scary combination when you are that close to the strip, but also make an amazing product. And I would be remiss to let you off this podcast without you telling me about your grandma pie, because that's what you all are known for.
We, man, I can't even really talk that much about the grandma. Let me just tell you, I was at a point where I left Evil Pie. And I was pretty much broke. And I took my one and only consulting gig, which was to go to King Umberto in Elmont, Long Island, and work with John Cesarano and his family, and just work with him, give him all the knowledge I could on gluten-free pizza. And I needed the money, and they paid me. They paid me well, and they were kind to me. But I feel a little bit guilty. One day I'm going to have to return that check to John. I've said it before. I owe him that money back because I learned more about the grandma pizza while I was there at King Umberto than I could ever teach him about gluten-free. And he knows it, man. And it's been, I asked his father, Ciro Cesarano, the day I was leaving, for his blessing to bring my version of their grandma pizza back to Las Vegas. And, it was kind of emotional. We had to do it through a translator, and we're like sipping espresso and we were sitting there with our little, lemon twists, and he was kind enough to just give me his blessing and teach me some of what he knew. And obviously I made my own version. Mine is a little bit thicker than theirs. Nino Coniglio also helped me tremendously with the grandma, and, shout out to Nino. I love that guy. And we haven't really spoken in a while because he's busy with his business and his family, his wife and his baby girl. And I'm busy with my family, my business, my wife, my baby girl. We haven't really been able to be as close as we once were. But I'm always going to give Nino a lot of love and gratitude for just showing me a lot about grandma pizza. So between King Umberto and Nino Coniglio, and then I added my own just trials and tribulations, and just, learning through repetition and staying a lot of late nights and a lot of early mornings. And that's when those 100-hour weeks really kicked in, because, when we first opened, I didn't really know, what I was doing. And I just kind of like fake it till you make it and just try my best. And, fortunately for us, the pizza has gotten better every day. And when you're doing something for 5 and 6 years and it gets better every day, it's going to get pretty good. And we're there now. The biggest compliment I ever got was when John Cesarano came to Vegas and he had our grandma and he said, your grandma is much better than it was last time I had it. And that was like one of the biggest moments of my career, because nobody knows grandma pizza. I mean, they pretty much invented the grandma pizza out there in Long Island. And, that's a big, that was a big check off on my bucket list for him to like eat my pizza and enjoy it. And I look at someone like, I built my kitchen to where when I'm standing on the line making pizzas, I could see every table in the restaurant. And, I watch every person when they take a bite and I read their reaction and I know. And if I read a reaction where someone's unhappy, I'll get off the line and go to that table and be like, how you guys enjoying the pizza? Tell me what's going on. Like, I want feedback from customers. And I did that for a long, long time. And I'll just make them another one or buy them around a drink. I'll do whatever to let them know. Like, I care that they're having the best pizza experience possible. And, I learned that over, years of being in the hospitality industry. But the grandma pizza we're doing now, it's got these little air pockets in it, these small baby bubbles. It's got nice blistering on the crust. It's got like the sauce and cheese. There's 4 cheeses on our grandma, and there's the sauce with the 4 cheese and then the basil. It just hits right. We're using pecorino. We're using fresh mozzarella. We're using grande shredded mozzarella. We're using Parmigiano Reggiano. We're using Grana. One of the two, whenever we can get it. I can look at the prices. And so I got an 18-month Grana, and then I had a 24-month Grana that we were finishing. I was paying like $16 a pound at the height of, the pandemic we opened. And I don't care because that's what we're finishing our pizzas with. I think we were the first restaurant, the pizzeria in Las Vegas, to finish our pies with $15 a pound plus finishing cheeses. No one was doing that. We outspend almost everybody on ingredients right now. Like, I know for a fact, because I know what other people are using. I know what they're spending on ingredients. And, we're justifying the price of our food because we're putting the best that we can in it. But I'm putting my heart in this thing, man. I'm putting my soul in it. All the years of pizza eating, my whole life, all the years of pizza making, every pizza maker I've ever been involved with, every person I've ever seen make a pizza, all of that goes into every pie. You know what I mean? And it's through others. And I'm proud of it. And we're gonna keep working and rocking and rolling and getting better.
I'm so glad I asked you about that. That was beautiful. That was so captivating. Everything you said about it kind of just tied everything up about the community and how it's so giving. And it even showed the side of you of how you care so much about not just the product, but the end user. And it was just beautiful how you were like, let me make this right, because that's how much I give a fuck about hospitality. It's so cool.
I think that's how you build a lifelong customer. One of the things I'm really proud of is the amount of loyal regulars that we built up. And because I don't take cash, we opened during the pandemic, we're credit card only. And then like a lot of places in New York where I grew up was cash only, right? Because those guys were trying to, have cash flow and have a lot of cash. But for me, we opened with no cash and it just stuck, and we're not taking cash. But what it gives me is the ability to get a true read of data, right? And so every time a credit card is swiped at Good Pie for the first time, 42% of cards get swiped a second time within 30 days. So 42 out of every 100 first-time customers are coming back within a month, right? And that's real data. And I'm like, that's one of the things I'm most proud of is once people get that first bite of Good Pie, they got to have it. They got to come back. And we have customers that come in. We have thousands of customers that eat Good Pie at least 3 times a month. You know what I mean? And those are the customers we want. We want the customer that's going to, every Friday, we're their go-to. We're their Pizza Friday. We're their Sunday supper. We're their cheat day. We're their Wednesday after work. We're their happy hour. We're their Monday Night Football. We are their weekly whatever. And that's to me how you really build a community pizzeria and make it an institution, because the little kids that are growing up eating good pie, someday in the future, they're going to bring their kids. And that's when you build a true legacy.
I would be remiss to ask you the one question that I know Brett from Izzy's Pizza Bus always looks forward to, because he regularly listens, and I know the relationship is there. So he's going to want to hear this.
I was texting with him today, by the way. Me and him were texting. I didn't tell him what's going on, but me and him chat all the time.
He's going to want to know what's one mistake in pizza business or life that people should avoid.
Yo, man, I think I should have done this sooner. I knew in my 20s I was born to be a restaurateur, and I knew I wanted a pizzeria. I wanted a pizzeria really badly since 2006. And I didn't get open till 2018. Like, that's just too long. There's no, there's just, man, there's no reason for this shit to take 12 years, bro. Like, I wasn't working hard enough. I wasn't pushing hard. And I used to have investor meetings at my house. I would have pizza parties at my brother's house. And then I would gather people together and then start handing out business plans. Like, literally, like, yo, trying to get something funded in it. And I didn't do that early enough. I didn't do it hard enough. I didn't shop aggressive enough. I got too comfortable working for other people. And I knew in my heart I was an entrepreneur. And there I am working for other people. And I just waited too long because I was scared. And anybody out there who wants to open a pizzeria, man, just do it. Paulie G told me, the walls of fear are paper thin and there's only good things on the other side, man. You just got to poke your head through and go, because the fear of failure is real, but the fear of success is even more real, and what if I open a pizzeria and people hate it? That's scary. Well, what if I open a pizzeria and people love it? That's even scarier, because now the expectation is there. Now people come here and they hear all the hype. They hear your name. They hear everything. They see your videos, and they come in for the first time, and you better fucking deliver. And if you don't, it's like, this is all hype, or this is not good, or I don't want to disappoint anybody. And I think it's even more scary to have a really good reputation than it is because if everybody thinks you're bad, like, whatever, dude. Like, well, you knew we were bad when you came here, so we don't. It's kind of like low. The bar's pretty low, but if you have a high bar and you keep having to push that bar higher and higher, that's the thing that's also motivating, right? It gets you out of bed every morning, but it's also scared because you want to live up to those expectations and you want to exceed them, and our prices are not low. We're charging a premium, so we have to deliver.
I know how much family time means to you, and so I'm going to let you get to that. Do you have any closing thoughts, final words to leave the audience with today?
I think that having a pizzeria is a very important and meaningful pursuit. This is where people come, to eat and nourish their bodies and their souls and their hearts and minds. And what the main thing that I've learned from John is that this is a profession to be proud of, and this is an industry to wear a badge of honor on your heart. And if you lead with that, like, you're going to be successful. If you understand the importance that you play in your community as a pizza maker, as a community, as a person who's a leader of a community and nourishing and feeding a community, you can't go wrong, And in my first ever interview that I did about pizza, there was a quote in Vegas 7 magazine, and that quote said, if you care deeply about what you're doing, it's going to be great. And just don't be afraid to apply everything you have, to what it is that we're doing. And don't be afraid to put it all out there. When you put yourself out, it's scary because people are going to judge you, and it might hurt. You got to be vulnerable in this business. and you gotta wear your heart on your sleeve, and you gotta be judged by your critics and your fans alike, you know, and you gotta know when you're great and when you're not great. Because if you believe all the negativity or the hype, you can't get caught up in what people are saying, man. You can't. You got to know who you are. You know, you got to know who you are, and you got to be able to share that with the world through your food. You know, and that's not easy to do, but that's what I'm striving to be every day. You know, I know who I am, and I'm sharing my soul and my heart with the world through my food. And if people get it, great. And if they don't, you know, I'm gonna try harder tomorrow. You know, so that's really my thought on this industry and on what I'm doing. And I'm a huge fan, man, of pizza. I can't wait. I've been thinking all week about going to San Francisco next month, you know, and I can't wait to go there and eat every pizza that I can and just come back, you know, with a full belly and a full heart and inspired to get in my restaurant and apply some of what I'm going to learn to my fall menu. Really, really excited about that.
You're in for a treat. All the pizzerias that you listed earlier, amazing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'll be at the pizza festival, so I will say hi.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, and I'm bringing the kids too. My wife, the kids, everybody. I'm a straight up fanboy. I'll be wearing everybody's pizza shirts and hats, and I'm a fanboy. I'm going to be out there cheering. You know, I can't wait. And the next day, the following day after the pizza fest, we're going to Windsor. We're going to drive up to Windsor to go to Pizzeria. And
you're in for a treat.
That is just, I can't wait for all that, man. I'm stoked.
Vincent, you have been, honestly, I haven't had a conversation like this in a while, and I have a feeling my audience is going to love this. This is one of the episodes that people are going to play back and forth over and over again, because there are so many things that you hit on that are so important to just pizza, business, life, everything. And I'm so thankful for you sharing your story, sharing your time, and sharing your knowledge, man. I really appreciate it. Hey,
thank you so much for having me. And those people that, you know, want to travel to Las Vegas, you know, the weekend of November 4th is the weather's wonderful, and get your tickets now. VegasPizzaFest.com. Tickets are going pretty quickly. The VIP is almost sold out, and there are those pizza fans out there that just go from city to city. Now you can go festival to festival around the country, and I hope someone can see this and come join us at the festival and come over to the Good Pie booth and say hi and you know, just enjoy it. So thank you very much.
What style are you going to be making there?
Appreciate it.
Of course. What style are you going to be making at the Good Pie booth?
I'm going to make a grandma. Last year I made the upside down grandma, and this year we're making something special. We're going to make a grandma white pie. But I'm doing something different. Normally with the white pie, I do ricotta flowers. We do the piping bag of ricotta, and I know that was a trend. That's another thing I got from Nino. No one on the West Coast was doing ricotta flowers or piping that, and then I kind of stole that from Nino, and you know, with permission, he let me have it. And then I started doing it all different ways. And what we're going to do is we're infusing the ricotta with something really, really special. And when I say infused, I don't mean cannabis. I know there's a lot of potheads out there. We're infusing it, not with cannabis, but we are doing an infused ricotta on the pizza that I'm super excited about. Yeah, you'll have to come check it out.
Only place to have it, Vegas Pizza Festival. We'll see y'all there. Vincent, thank you again for being on the show.
Thanks,
I really
guys. Thanks for having me. Much love to everybody. What's good, though? Peace.
What's happening? What's good, dough? It's your boy, Idrif. And if you're thinking, whoa, that just brought me back to a place long time ago where Idrif used to do one long podcast. None of this, oh, he'll break it down into 3 parts to make it more digestible, blah, blah, blah. If you're part of that old crew and you are missing the old style podcast, don't you worry. I've been listening to your feedback and I got you, fam. Here's the thing. I am making these shorter podcasts for people who are just jumping onto the What's Good Dough train today in 2023. But if you miss the old podcasts and you want to listen to them from beginning to end in just one go, heck, if you want to listen to the podcasts with no ads, I have two solutions for you. The free solution is that you can sign up for my email list. If you sign up for the email list, there is a link in the show notes, and I will invite you to my private podcast feed. There you will get one episode every time there's a new podcast episode from beginning to end, no ads, all in one take. No more waiting for this part 1, part 2, part 3 stuff. I got you. The second way is if you sign up for Patreon. There you will get exclusive content plus the podcast from beginning to end, no ads. So free, sign up for the email list, or not free, supporting your boy, you can go ahead and get exclusive content and ad-free listening all in one go. All of that is going to be linked in the show notes. I appreciate you. I love you. Till next time. Peace.